What is going on, everybody? Today I am going to do a little review for you of Marvel Crisis Protocol. Is this game good? Is it fun? Is it worth your money? If you do not want to watch the entire video, I'm going to just say yes. It's a pretty good game. It is fun, and it's probably worth your money. And if you have buddies to play with, it's very entertaining. And it seems to have a very high skill cap. So if you're interested in a competitive game, you will be searching through the characters for the best of the best. You'll be building the dirtiest teams with the best combos. You'll be picking the best cards. You'll be, using the right characters in the right scenarios, and you'll be walloping your opponents. And that'll be that. But just for the casual player that likes to play with their buddies or have a good time, it is also a good game. The game rules are very simple. So you're basically moving around with little movement sticks. You're measuring ranges with little measuring sticks. They're various sizes. It's very simple as far as the base rules. If Venom here wants to move, you put the movement stick down, and as long as he's touching the movement stick, he can move anywhere along the stick. And that's simple like that. So movement simple, measuring range. Let's say you want to do Adamantium Slash with Wolverine. There's Wolverine. He's got a 2-inch slash. So you can put the 2 down. And he can hit Venom. He could hit Kingpin. He could hit Bullseye. He could hit Winter Soldier, Vision, etc. So you roll D8s. This is one of the learning curves, is just getting used to these D8 symbols. You got crits. You got POWs. You got skulls, which are like total misses. You got crits, exclamation points, and wilds, which generally trigger effects like bleed, stun, daze, stagger, judgment, hex, incinerate. So many fun different effects you can apply to your enemies. Great time. So for me, I just wanted to have a fun game. I thought the models looked good. The reason I got into this game is because I bought the Incredible Hulk model. And when I bought the Incredible Hulk model, I wanted to paint him up for the LVO painting competition. I bought him for the LVO painting competition. I got, I think, a bronze or a silver with him. And then I sold him for $175 on eBay. So, after I sold the Hulk for $175 on eBay, I thought, wow, that was fun to paint the Hulk, because, the Hulk's cool. So I'm going to buy a couple more of these, and I'm going to paint them. Because if I don't ever play the game, I can sell them on eBay and probably get a pretty decent, 3-4 times my price if I do a good job. At least double for sure. So I decided to pick up the Kingpin, and I wanted to paint a yellow suit. I thought I could do a good job on a yellow suit. I think I did a pretty good job on a yellow suit. I think he looks pretty sharp. And from there, I had so much fun painting the Hulk. I had so much fun painting Kingpin. I decided to pick up the Green Goblin. And I painted the Green Goblin. Of course, these have all been painted with Ghost paintbrushes. The original all-white paintbrush available in the links below. Check them out if you want to support a small business, which is just me, one person, providing you with a low-cost, high-quality paintbrush. But, so, it was fun to paint the Green Goblin. Sometimes I do traditional costumes. Sometimes I like to do alternate costumes. It just depends on what I'm feeling. And then from there, I realized I'm starting to get quite a bit of models, right? Now I got Kingpin, I got Green Goblin. I wanted to paint Sabretooth and Wolverine. So I went ahead and picked them up as well. And right, this is how they get you. Now you're hooked. I got Venom. I do love Spider-Man. And I love the Spider-Man Rogue Gallery. So once I heard Mysterio and Carnage were coming out, Lizard and Kraven the Hunter, I decided I will play when those guys come out. Now, they still haven't actually come out yet. They'll be out next month, I believe, or later this month. But I've started playing, and it's been super fun. So I ended up trading some High Elves, and I got the core set, which comes with 10 models. Here's a couple of them I painted. Got Dr. Octopus and Ultron, sort of flopped color scheme, main yellow with a little green, and a sort of brass Ultron. You got Winter Soldier and Bullseye here that I did. I did Bullseye I decided to do in red just for funsies. And we got the Mayo Vision. I tried to do the white vision, and I think he came up pretty good. So I ended up with a bunch of characters. They're super fun to paint. I ended up with a starter set, and Mysterio and Carnage are still not out yet, but I decided to jump in and play a demo at the local store. Now, the game is very simple. It's moving on objectives, and you're either holding them or you're picking them up and controlling them that way. So it's like control space on the board or pick up things and run around with those things, and while you hold them, you get points. You don't generally get points for killing people, although some characters might. But obviously, killing people means there's less people attacking you while you're trying to hold points and hold objectives. All the complexity of this game is coming from all of these powers and abilities. Powers that are providing conditions like incinerate or bleed and slow. All these unique abilities like flight and immunity to conditions, teleports, triggers that give you extra power. What you're doing is you're generating power. You spend the power to use these special abilities. And there's about 90 characters now available for this game. That's a lot of characters. So the amount of variety and teams you can build is insane. Some characters are leaders, so that's going to have a star there. I'm going to give you a website. You can look it up on Google. It's MCP, like Marvel Crisis Protocol, database. You can look up every single character sheet and card. So while you're playing with your Vision and your Winter Soldier, you could go on your phone and look up the rules for Thor. And if you like that card, you could read it right there on the website. You could go ahead and check out Thor, and maybe he's available in your local store, and you pick him up that day because you want to add him to your team. To fit into a team, you only need half your models on that team. So to be affiliation Cabal, you need half your models to be Cabal members. But once you've reached half your models as Cabal members, you could still add in like a Vision or a Spider-Man. Because of course, comics, people are always getting hypnotized and magical serums and spells and things. So there's, infinite narrative reasons why maybe Spider-Man is fighting alongside Red Skull. Maybe it's actually just a clone of Spider-Man. Maybe it's a Skrull or a, alternate universe evil Spider-Man. You get the point. There's no, the Hulk would never fight with Thanos or whatever, right? They're never friends. Well, they can be because of infinite comic narrative potential. One thing I do find very fun about this game is there's something really fun if you watched like these cartoons in the 90s. If Sabretooth beats up Wolverine, when you're playing the game, it's not Sabretooth rolled 5 damage or whatever and knocked out Wolverine. It's Sabretooth beat the crap out of Wolverine, right? Like when you're talking smack with your buddies, Winter Soldier's gunning down Dr. Octopus off the objective, right? It's not just you rolled some good dice and he rolled some bad defense dice. In your mind, at least the way I feel, is there's a bit of a narrative going on, and it's just funny to see some of these characters smash the other ones. Like today, I had the Hulk smash the Vision in one hit. Just broke him in half right against the wall, and he was dead. So the characters start on their healthy side, like this. When they take their max hit points there, they flip over for the most part. Somebody like the Hulk only has one side, but a ton of hit points. Some of these abilities change. There you go, yada, yada, yada. One thing that's a little overwhelming at first, when you look at it, is the game has a ton of tokens. So get yourself a little $2.99 whatever container. You got wound tokens. You got power tokens. Every one of these characters, when you buy them, they'll come with a little pack of tokens. You got tokens for incinerate, bleed, right? Now this might look overwhelming at first, but it's pretty easy to remember the conditions. And a lot of these other ones are just for objective marking on the map. And some of these other ones are just like little affiliation tokens for like the scoreboard or for when you're holding an objective. If you have that objective, you put your little cap shield on it so it's yours. Or if you're playing Hydra, you can put a little Hydra thing on it so it's Hydra's. So it's super simple. you get a lot of tokens. Some of the characters come with Infinity Stones. I think Thanos, Doctor Strange, Loki. You can get the Infinity Stones. They can actually, there's rules for those characters to hold them. Not every character can hold an Infinity Stone, but there are rules for some of them, and they power up. They cost more power. Let's show you the next thing that's pretty interesting about this game. Here's another layer of complexity, right? The rules are simple. You just move and attack. You get 2 actions. But the starter set, which is a great value, if you're going to get into the game, you're getting the movement trays, the dice, a ton of tokens, deployment cards. You're getting mission cards. Some characters do come with these as well. But also, characters in the starter set come with all these, think of them as like special play cards. And some of them are tied to affiliations. So let's see what one we can find first. Okay, Cruelty. This is for Criminal Syndicate only. Kingpin is the leader of the Criminal Syndicate. So this card probably came with Bullseye. Well, Bullseye's on it. I don't know. Bullseye's on the card. He's also in the Criminal Syndicate. But if you have a Criminal Syndicate team affiliation, you could have this card in your deck. You're basically picking 8 cards, and you then decide on 5 to play in the game, which is a little bit more high level, right? I told you the skill cap was pretty high for this game. When you're just smashing with your buddies, you know, Ultron's punching Hulk in the face, it's a great time. And you can play your cards, do some combos, hurt some bad guys. But when you're picking your team, I don't quite have enough models for this. 5. Okay, so I got almost exactly. So when you pick your team, you actually have a roster of 10 models. Now, when the missions decided, okay, first I want to explain to you, you do not have to do this. I have not done this once yet. I do not think this part's that interesting for the casual play, but I think it's a decent idea for your regular play. But basically this here is your threat level 17. That shows your threat level. I might be frozen. I don't know if this is still recording, but we'll keep going. This shows threat level 17. You have your pool of 10 guys. You pull from that pool to build a 17 threat team, and the rest are on the sideline. So let's just say they make 17. And that's how you build your team. Then you would pick your 5 cards out of your 8 cards, and you start your game. Super fun, super simple. All the complexities coming in funsy cards and superpowers on the characters themselves. And yeah, I think it's totally 100% worth getting into and checking out. The characters aren't totally too expensive, because honestly, once you get the starter set, you really don't need that many. Maybe just buy a couple of your favorites right off the bat. And, you know, what happens though is you end up, you know, deciding, maybe I want the Vision, or maybe I want Loki, and then you go and buy another pack. But, you know, you buy a pack or 2 here and there, and it's not that bad. They're like $40 a pack for usually like 2 characters. Now the bad. This, I've played maybe 7 or 8 games so far, and I want to explain to you a couple things that I find are maybe bad about the game. For one, when you roll your dice, you can, it's a dice game, but you can spike a ton of damage. So let's say you roll 6 dice for your attack, and you rolled something like this. You would get to roll 2 more dice for your crits. When you roll crits, they explode, and you roll extra. So you would roll 2 more dice. And let's just pretend you got something like this, right? So obviously it's not super common, but it is possible to spike your roll with this massive damage output. You're triggering your wilds, you're hitting 3, 6, 8 damage on a character. A lot of characters are only defending with like 3 or 4 dice, and it happens a lot where they roll something like this. They got a crit, so they roll an extra. So there they go. They block 2. So boom, you hit them for 6 damage. Well, guess what? A lot of them only have 4, 5, 6 health. So you in one turn, flip him to his injured side, or if he was already injured, you'd kill him in one shot. So there's sometimes I don't know if it's feel badsies or fun epic hero moments, but sometimes and those dice just spike hard and you hit a ton of damage and the defense doesn't ever spike to that level because rolling the 6, 7, 8 dice attacks is more likely than a character ever rolling more than like 2 to 5 defense dice generally. So the damage spikes can be high. Maybe that's just for high action, superpower things going off, and that's fine. That's cool. Another thing that could be a potential problem with the game, I don't know if in the future there will be any FAQs on a character or changes to their threat level, which is basically their point value. But an example would be, let's say, I think these guys are both threat level 3. You got Bullseye and Winter Soldier. Now, I think they try to play test it pretty good, but there's the possibility, and first off, let me say this first. I think out of every character I own, all of them have been fun to play. I haven't felt totally let down on any of these characters. I've had plenty of fun fielding them all. I like playing them. I think it's a good time. I've seen online, like they say, Bullseye sucks. He sucks for me a lot of times in the games, but a couple times he's done pretty well, and that's fun. So I think any of them 100% are playable. But when you get more into that kind of competitive or that kind of min-maxing, not win at all costs, but min-maxing, building that nasty team, which I think this game has a high skill cap for, and you could definitely build into some nasty builds, then, the characters aren't created equal necessarily. One character might be a power level 3, and the other one might be a power level 4, so this guy would be less points, but he might just have simply really good rules, and he might just fit well into a team affiliation that benefits greatly from those rules, and so on and so forth. So I don't know if there's ever going to be like threat level FAQ to change people's points. They do a little bit of FAQing on the cards. You are limited. Some of these cards are so strong you can only take 1 or 2 of them in your deck, or some of them you can only have 1 of. Like, a lot of those are more dependent on like the big healing cards, like bringing a guy back from the dead and whatnot. But so that could be a potential problem I could see. I've played a few games now, and I generally just take a ragtag group of dudes, and I just go for it, have a good time. Playing against some of the guys who have actually been playing this now for a year or whatever. They've been collecting now for a long time. They got a lot better team builds in their mind. They got more characters to choose from, and I've played against some nasty teams. You got people that could be potentially, you could look online and figure out what some strong teams are, what some characters potentially could be undercosted for what they do, or maybe they're undercosted for their damage output, maybe they're undercosted for their mobility. That's of course going to happen because trying to balance a miniatures game, and it's going to need FAQs or updates. If you've ever played a game like Dota 2, and I assume like a League of Legends, those games get updated all the time with tweaks to the characters to constantly try and keep them in balance. So let's say a year ago this character came out and he was a power level 4, and then Wednesday this character came out and he was a power level 3. He could potentially have gotten better rules than the higher cost character, and without balancing those characters, that is just going to lead to problems or power creep or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I have absolutely no guarantee that that's the case. Some characters are winners and losers maybe, but 100% they all seem actually fun to play if you're just having a good time. So hopefully there is some balance to that in the future, but I have not played enough games to tell you if the character or if the game's 100% balanced in that way. Maybe after a month or 2 more of playing, some true winners and losers will stand out. And then there's also always the chance that, let's say, a character like Bullseye here, maybe he's not good, but maybe he has a card that's really powerful, and then that, justifies his cost or something. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. I think it's 100% worth it to check out the Marvel Crisis Protocol. I think it's a very good game, super fun. I forgot to mention this, but you can throw buildings and cars and dumpsters and trees and statues at each other. Not every character can do it, but it's hilarious. I actually was playing against Vision in a game today, and the Venom threw a mobile home at him and killed him. So that's hilarious. Killing him with a mobile home. I bet Wanda was living in it. Got him. So there you go. Check out Marvel Crisis Protocol. If you like the Marvel content, I'll probably be painting some of these on stream. I got a lot of characters I still got to do. I might try to get them primed up tonight. I don't have any stream schedule though, so just subscribe if you want to check out those paint videos. I also play Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40k. We're playing some Stargrave. I play Gaslands, all kinds of stuff. So I like to do a mix-up of hobby videos and painting videos and reaction videos to new releases. And there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have a favorite character. If you stuck around this long, I'm going to tell you some top secret information that's not that secret. Coming soon. Juggernaut. Colossus. I think that was it. I think Juggernaut and Colossus are coming soon. The rulebook is available for free on the Marvel Crisis Protocol website. All the cards, all the characters are free to find on the MCP database. So if you want to get a card, you can look up the cards, find out which characters packs they come in, or print them out. You can look at characters before you buy them, see if the rules fit your play style, if you like the character sheet itself. And there you have it. Hopefully you guys jump into Marvel Crisis Protocol. 100% starter set, way to get into it. See ya on the battlefield. Adios.